But speaking of platform fighters, speaking of the devil, you know what I'm saying? MultiVersus is back, baby. MultiVersus is back in the building. They had their whole reveal trailer. Well, first they talked about they were in Happy Meals for like a solid week, but we actually got the real, return trailer and developer update from Player First Games. Tony and the whole crew and all that stuff like that. They will be back on May 28th. They're talking about updated netcode. The game engine's now in Unreal Engine 5. A whole bunch of stuff is being recalibrated. Looked some new combos on different players and all that stuff. A whole lot of changes ahead of their May 28th drop when MultiVersus is coming back. How are you feeling?
I am excited. I am not eating at McDonald's anytime soon. Really need to stop trying to push that on me. I'm good. I'm a grown man. I don't need a Happy Meal. The motherfuckers are buying Happy Meals also. Like, they're not kids.
I mean, dude went in and bought everything. He had all the sets. I'm like, bro, how many Happy Meals did that take?
Like, that's ridiculous. How many 4-piece nuggets did you have to eat for the rest of the week? Like, you meal prep with McDonald's. Like, relax, my man.
Insanity.
But I also just like, bro, the people who are excited for your game are not children. But anyway, I get it. Not the point. I'm excited for MultiVersus to come back. That game was so much fucking fun. I hope the netcode. When I first got COVID, that's what really got me through it. Was like I was stuck in my room with my PlayStation. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna play MultiVersus. It's like the only real competitive game I can play right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a blast, man. It was a lot of fun. What I will say is that like even when I did have COVID and I was in my room just like suffering, the netcode was dog shit. Like I was playing, I'm like, God damn, this shit is kind of rough, you know? So I do hope that the netcode, and they're saying first in class, like you can't just drop shit like that and not expect me to really be like, okay, let's get it. Like I'm expecting big things. And the thing is, like when I was playing on my PC, the netcode wasn't awful, but you could tell the more updates we got, the more new shit we got, it did kind of go downhill, unfortunately. And I don't know if I can really even blame them for that. It might have just been like the game just wasn't like, again, I don't think the game was ready when they were pushing it, so they really should not have been pushing it. But hopefully with this year gap, because you don't do something like what they just did. You don't pull a game out of quote unquote beta that's been in beta for a year plus for a year
and shut it down.
And shut it down for a year to bring it back and be like, yo, this shit's still ass. Like I can't imagine they pulled that kind of a move on us. So I'm excited. I have high hopes for them. I truly do. But they are kind of in the firing range. Like a lot of people are looking at it. I know, and there's people who literally made their entire fucking lives off of shitting on games, are quite literally have that date marked so they can play 20 minutes and talk shit on TikTok if we still have TikTok at that point. Like there are people waiting for the downfall of this game because that's just their favorite thing to do. I don't think this game is going to be bad, but I'm not really super confident, but I would love to be proved wrong. I will be playing day one. Hopefully, I think I think they said that all the things that you paid for like are still in the game.
Yeah, still return.
Yeah, so fingers crossed we get some gas on release, but I don't know. Like even when I remember when Black Adam dropped, I'm like, this character is super cool, and then I got into a game and it was dumb laggy. I was like, man, fuck this game, bro.
Yeah. And listen, this is my thing. The previous iteration of MultiVersus, it did play a relatively dangerous game in terms of the content drop, because again, I feel like they didn't expect so many people to like take to it so quickly, and they're like, yo, this is just a beta, guys. You know what I'm saying? They did say it was a beta. They use
that too often.
Yeah, but again, it's like they said it was a beta, but they kept pushing it. At some point, I feel like in the back of their heads they knew they were going to close it. So I feel like if they open this beta for like, it was like an alpha, and then there was the beta that was open for months, and then they closed it. Like if they at least went in with the intention to say, hey, it's open here, we're gonna keep this open just to get server data, understand what I'm saying, the constraints that we need to that are put on the servers and stuff like that, the game netcode, run a couple things, and gave the end date, then I feel like this would have been, in people's heads, the perception would have been a lot more palatable. But again, some people have the sour taste in their mouth from how they closed the doors on MultiVersus the first time around. And so I understand that. I do, 100%. So the onus is on them to, again, not only correct the mistakes and that they've had from that first run, again, with the netcode, buff up the things that they were deficient on, but come out the gate with, again, a solid offering day one. You know what I mean? Again, that's going to be important to really get people back into the fray, because if they do this right, they're going to be in contention again, because they have, again, like we said before on the last thing, they have enough of a difference in their gameplay to Smash to be you know, an acceptable platform fighter, and they have the IP backed by them to just be in the mix for such a long time if they do this right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was doing their top 5 what Warner Brothers characters we want to see in the game and stuff like that. I remember I was doing that stuff, and I still want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, they have the formula to succeed. It's just the little ins and outs of making sure they address the problems that they had in the beta properly and give people the best first impression possible. Again, giving them their stuff back day one, you know, that they spent on. It's tough when they don't have access to the stuff that they bought. People are going to be in a fit about that. We know, but you know, you gotta start on that best. You got to plant that best foot forward as hard as you can to really get people back in the door. I feel like people will come in regardless, but then some of the, again, people who had tenured experience with it, they're like, yo, we you know what I'm saying, what happened? I bought some shit on there and I can't access it now. What happened? Like, you really got to get them, you know what I'm saying, an experience that they've been waiting for, because they have been, literally, because they spent money on it. But I'm excited personally. I think this is, I knew, in my head, I'm like, I was never mad at them personally, because I didn't spend any money on it, one, but two, I knew at some point they were just, they needed to calibrate some things further. So them closing their doors, it's not, you know what I'm saying, I was never mad at them for that. I think the last time we talked about it, when they closed, I said the same thing, and we said the same thing, like, yo, as long as you're going back and addressing the right things properly, I will never be mad at you guys. You know what I mean? For getting the net code right, getting the flow of content correct, tweaking some of these things. You know what I'm saying? Nerfing Taz. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Nerf that bastard, bro. Pain in my ass.
I don't think he was the biggest deal, but yeah, I guess agree.
He was up there. He was up there. He was def up there. I was about to say, nerf him. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, Finn did get the nerf, but it is what it is.
Jake, unfortunately,
Jake, that piece of shit. Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother thing. Let's not make it personal. Let's not make it personal. But again, making those roster tweaks to make sure things are palatable. Again, they said they added some new combos to make things a bit more approachable for some people, which is perfect. Again, taking that time to optimize the game from, again, a back-end standpoint, gameplay standpoint, content flow standpoint, presentation standpoint. It looks really good in Unreal Engine 5. If you're doing these things to fully optimize it and set it up for success for the future, that however many months you close down the doors for the game, that's going to be a thing of the past. I feel like people are ready to already forgive and forget what that shit was. You know what I mean? So it's just about taking that best first step forward now on the 28th. Can you drop this? You know, what's it going to look like? Are you going to have all the characters from the beta ready to go? My personal hope is that everybody from the beta automatically drops in day one, and you have enough content loaded to where you can do character drops and not have it affect your flow. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if it was the leaks or a lot of speculation, stuff like that. There was a lot of characters already set to come into the game. So I'm hoping that we don't necessarily take away from what we saw in the beta, or at least have a way to, you know what I'm saying, dish them out quickly to where people have their characters again that they saw from the beta, and then you start building on with the new roster consistently. So yeah, my biggest worry about this game has always been the flow of content to keep things interesting for people. So, you know, I hope that they've addressed all that, and overall, again, I'm very excited. You know, again, the first tournament we ran was MultiVersus. You know what I'm saying? The first tournament we've ever done online in terms of shout to, you know, all for growth, shout to growth. Like, we've done, it was MultiVersus. Like, that game garnered that much attention and that much interest in our eyes and our hearts. Like, yo, this shit can be fire. So I'm absolutely ready to see it make a comeback. And I think with the changes that they've made, I get the impression that they've set themselves up for success rather than duck the smoke of closing their doors over the past few months to get the game right. So, you know, I'm excited.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be, and as somebody who's played a lot of it on my channel, I'm also excited. I just like know how these kinds of things, there's two ways this goes about. They took the time, they did everything right, and we're going to get a sick game on release, or they didn't change enough and the player base still is upset with them for what happened. And even to this day, I don't really blame them for anything, because I understand exactly what they did. They thought they could do it, and it was kind of like, it was similar to what happened with Power World, but the difference is that Power World is not this is not a live service game the same way that MultiVersus is a
Yeah.
live service game.
Mhm.
And it's not a game that like if you picked up a POW that was overpowered, that overpowered POW could be overpowered for like 3 months and then get patched later and we won't be upset.
Mhm.
If one character in MultiVersus is overpowered for more than 2 weeks, you're
Immediate
losing
ripple.
players now.
Yeah.
Like you're losing players now. And that's just the problem with the game. So I think that this game has a lot of potential and I really truly hope that they can capitalize on what they have here because this is like the gem. But now if they don't, Rivals 2 with the people, you know what I'm saying? Like
swoop in.
if y'all can swoop in and help the homies out, because that game also like if you mix the two combat, like the combat with one and the roster of the other,
that's nasty
I don't
work.
know.
Hey,
I don't know.
that's formidable. That shit is formidable. 100, man. That's crazy. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see.